All right, so I guess we're live, Paul.
Hey
Our
Thomas.
second live stream.
hmm
Welcome to the Global School live stream, Paul. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for inviting.
For the viewers on Facebook, my name is Thomas Blackman. I'm Dean at Global School, University of Applied Sciences, specifically created to facilitate students who want to become an entrepreneur, such as Paul. Paul, welcome. Can you introduce yourself?
Sure. So my name is Paul. I'm French, as you may hear during the conversation. I joined Global School last year in February, so February 2019. It's been over a year already. A lot have happened, a lot of ups and downs, more ups than downs, hopefully. But yeah, would you?
Yeah, what would you like to share about Global School? What should viewers know about you and how you're perceiving Global School?
Uh, it's not for everyone. It's tough. I mean, if you really want to get the most out of it, it's tough. It's long days, long weeks, a lot of how to say that? Not struggle, but it's just tough overall. You know, go through the process and try to find your own path, your own way. Um, it's definitely rewarding. I don't know if I can say I see the rewards already, but I know I will one day. It's not for everyone. If you really want to build a business, then for sure, do it. And if you think it's a like the online courses get rich quick scheme, it's none of that. It's way more. Uh, it's just this is just like some BS on the internet. That's the real stuff, so to say. Um, yeah,
So let me recap if I understood you. So you're saying this is the this is the real stuff, no
yeah,
bullshit,
exactly.
and it's therefore tough because
hmm
a lot of hours. Is
Yeah.
that hours spent in the classroom or what are the hours spent on?
So you have both workshop time, so with expert entrepreneurs that come from the outside. Global School picks like the best entrepreneurs from a specific field that they want to teach us, and then they come into the classroom, and we have class with them during the week. And then you have what they call incubator time, which is work on your own business time, and that's what takes most of your time because you have to apply what they teach you during the classes to your business. And since you are not an expert or really, really efficient in the beginning, that can take a lot of time from your schedule. Of course, it's up to everyone to adjust how much time they want to spend on that. But I choose to go all in, so to say. So I spend quite a lot of time in the
Yeah,
collab,
exactly.
the co-working
That's
space.
also how I
Yeah,
recognize you
yeah,
to go all in.
yeah.
Paul, can you tell us a little bit about your background? What did you do before Global School?
So I finished high school a while back now, like 3 years ago, and then I moved to Silicon Valley to study software engineering. But I did not really like. I really like the problem solving part, but just like debugging and coding all day every day was not my what I aspired to, so to say.
Yeah.
So and I had to come back due to visa issues, so I came back to Paris. I was still studying in the same school, but in Paris. Uh, and then well I figured out so okay in the meantime I was also working on a startup called Sneakmart. It's a marketplace where you can buy and sell online limited edition sneakers. We were trying to raise fund at the time, and we were talking with VCs and business angels. So at the time I put school was on the side. That was my main focus. We had long and long discussions with those investors. In the end, it did not happen. So I was like, okay, I need to do something else, to move on to the next step of my life. And since I was looking to do something more in the business or entrepreneurial field, I decided to. I was browsing online, best entrepreneurial school, Paris, London, and then Amsterdam. I found the global school website, and I like that was the most like the best value proposition from all the other universities, which only had like minors in business, and the rest was just like boring business administration things. I really wanted to get my hands dirty and do the work, and so I had a
Is
call with
that
you.
what you would perceive as the the differentiating factor about global school and other schools?
Yeah, for sure. Like a lot of school in business, it's you learn how to be an employee within a business and to be a good employee, and to do reports and things like that. You spend hours. You have like full semesters or quarters on Excel, accounting, things like that, which you don't need if you want to start a business. That's something nice once the business is up and running, but otherwise you don't need that. So I was like, okay, I don't want to learn how to be in a business or work in a business. I want to work on my business, and that's what I found was the difference between you guys and other normal schools. So
Okay, is
that's
that
what I
also
did.
working out in practice?
Not all the time. There's modules where I'm like, maybe this is less practicals, less like hard things that I can apply right now, but it's more long term. So it's still a way to work on the business, but sometimes it's just hard to grasp like why you're doing it.
Okay, can you give an example of a course that you had that wasn't that applicable?
Mm, but then it's more like mindset things, like I don't know, the brilliance of failure, or um, social and spiritual entrepreneurship. I didn't. It's to work on yourself. It's not really to work on the business. Of course, you are the business, so it's nice to work on that. But yeah,
Okay, let's look at the brilliance of failure
yeah.
module that you said was not that valuable. What did you
Mm-mm.
what did you take?
I didn't say it was not valuable. I just said it was less applicable to
Okay. So
the
in comparison
the.
with the other modules.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. I was interested to hear from you, like
Hmm.
if there are modules that are not that applicable, what they were. Because you know
Uh,
that at Global School we do a lot and our best to make the modules
yeah.
immediately applicable. So if you tell me there are some modules that are not immediately applicable, I become
Hmm.
interested, and
Well,
hopefully the viewer too.
no, but I think you get what I mean. It's like between, I don't know, digital marketing or value creation or the branding, for example, that you go out of the classroom and you do something on your computer and you work on it and you get an output. On brilliance of failure or social entrepreneur and entrepreneur social entrepreneurship, it's less. I don't know how to say it. It's less something for your business. It's for yourself. So I think as a student, it's harder to see the value like when you do it,
Yeah, okay,
but
I get it.
it works like it's a long term. It's more of a long term thing, I think.
Yeah. Now, as a designer of the curriculum, I call it
Uh-huh.
fundamental, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
as a foundation. But I understand what you're saying.
Hmm.
The business that you started when so you had
Hmm.
Sneakmart.fr.
Yeah.
I just I did spell it correct, right? It was
Yes.
Sneakmart.fr, right?
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
is it still up and running?
It is still up and running. Yes. 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 It's
Okay.
we're working on new things now. Kind of pivoting and shifting to a more social marketplace. But it's kind of tough. We worked for a while with a third guy, a dev, but that did not work out. So now we're starting from zero again. And during the COVID-19 period, it's kind of tough to find people that want to work for free on a business. Uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, that's the. But
Yeah,
still
everybody
working
is
on it.
struggling at the moment, right? Or a lot
Yeah.
of entrepreneurs are struggling. Some see the
Uh-huh.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Um, would that be a reason that you would say to the future prospect students don't start because
What
there's
do you
risk
mean?
associated with entrepreneurship?
Oh, there's risk definitely, but I think I think it's even more risky to be an employee actually, because right now the businesses they have, well, most of them are closed, so they have less revenue and they are like firing and laying off sometimes 50% of their workforce. Then to find a job, I mean, you have zero control in these kind of periods. When you are an entrepreneur, you can do things. So
So
I
it's
think
still
it's
smart to start as an entrepreneur.
Oh yeah, of course. And there were like dozens of billion-dollar companies that started during recessions and economic crisis. So I mean, Uber, Airbnb, 2008. So there's a lot of opportunities, and I think it's also a good way to see what people really need. Like, I don't know, the retail stores with food, restaurant with delivery, or more like health things. I think it's also a great way to see what the market actually wants, needs in every kind of period. So
So actually, the value creation, which is
yeah,
the core fundamental thing you learn at the bachelor.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool. And so when you joined Global School, you had
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Sneakmart.fr.
yeah,
Then you started researching a new area,
mm-hmm.
digital marketing agency for.
Yes,
Can you
for
explain a little
charities.
bit?
Yeah, so I did some voluntary work when I was 17 or something like that. I mean, yeah, I think 17 in Nepal, and I like it's always been something I really like doing voluntary work. So I was like, okay, you know what? I have some experience in digital marketing. Let's help like charities or NGOs that need it. And so I started reaching out, trying to do yeah, digital marketing for the charities. It was kind of hard to write a clear value proposition in the beginning, I think, and I spent way too much time doing a website I never used. So guys, don't spend a, a month or two on something you're never gonna use. Sell first and then build, for sure. But
That's a
so
good
I was
tip.
trying. Yeah, so I was doing that. You introduced me to the guy from to Mahil and then Frank from MadeBlue. We had a pilot, but it took a while to start. The sales process was like took forever. So really bad, not bad experience, but a good learning to to see that NGOs require a long time to acquire, as I said, like in the funnel.
Yeah.
And then I also worked with, how is it called, Proportion. Yeah, Proportion. That was another NGO that were running projects for the IKEA Foundation and big foundations in poor countries in Africa and Asia. So that was that, and then I also did a gig, thanks to you, for Nike as more of a like digital consultant. I built a prototype app for them, for a vertical they were trying to implement, or it was just part of a program, was not something they would actually implement, but it was a great learning. But during like all that process that took a while, actually, like I think that lasted 6 months, 6 7 months, from like April to September, something like that. I realized I wanted to be an entrepreneur, to work on my own project and to have no boss. And doing that as an agency, I had like 4 different bosses, and I was working on everyone's project except mine. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay, that's not what I want out of my entrepreneurial experience, or just out of my company. So I was like, okay, guys, I'm done. I'm done with that. Not gonna do that anymore. And I shifted. Took me a while to find something else to work on. Not a while, but like 2 months, maybe a month and a half, I think. And that was definitely tough, but yeah,
Yeah, but you really give it a good effort.
yeah,
What I like in your story is that you see that, well, there's a lot of other universities, more mass generic educators,
hmm,
that are also teaching entrepreneurship, and they
hmm,
have the uh, uh, um, applied minors
yeah,
of 3 months.
hmm,
And my vision and the reason why we started Global School is that becoming an entrepreneur and really building a business takes longer.
yeah,
Therefore, we put the incubator program into the 4-year bachelor program so that we could facilitate you guys longer for you to do these discoveries and learn what is and what isn't your cup of tea. So, what I
hmm,
really liked is the fact that you pivoted from this digital marketing agency
hmm,
to building a business for your own,
yeah,
and now building it online and also towards e-tail and retail, right?
yeah, yeah. And
Can you
for
explain a
sure,
little bit about your last or your current business
Yeah,
idea?
for sure. But I wanted to bounce back on what you said. For sure, if I would be, or if I would study in a normal university and the minor would only be like a semester or 3 to 4 months, then I would only, I've only, yeah, I could have only worked on like a business and a half, maybe. I've never pivoted to where I'm now. And I think having that space and time to fail and experiment and just do whatever you think is right, and then being like, okay, this is not right, I need to change, is a big, I think that's a game changer. um yeah, that's just what I wanted to say. To thanks
Okay,
you
yeah,
guys
thanks.
for the effort. And
Yeah,
yeah, so right now I'm building my own brand, my own company. It's we are a health and wellness company. That's how I like to describe it. The way we do that, I mean, we help people relax and live a more open life, be healthier overall. The way we do that is we sell CBD oil and CBD products, so derived from hemp, which is the cousins of the cannabis plant, of the marijuana plant, actually. That's what we do. It's me, my dad, my sister, and another doctor, expert in phytotherapy and cannabinoids. So it's a family business, kind of, but
yeah, cool.
also, yeah. So
Not
that's
normally
cool.
we educate successors in family business, but you started a family business.
Yes, 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 yes. So yeah, trying to so that's it. We started in mid January, I think. uh, I received all the products. I mean, it took a while, to do the branding, to do the value proposition, all the canvas, because we work with a lot of canvas in school. So of course I used some of them, not all of them. And do the branding, work with designers, do the website, work with the suppliers for the packaging and the bottling of the oil, as well as with the labels. So like a lot of things back and forth. That uh, was really nice because you get to see like all the sides or the parts of the business. I think in the beginning, as the founder, that's what you need to do. Of course, then if you are more, I mean, if you are the CEO, it's more like just managing everything, making deals, making sure you are hiring the right persons. But in the beginning, it's like generalist and hackers, so you need to do everything. Right now, we received the first batch, I think, a week ago, and we're just starting to. Well, we're gonna start selling our first bottles through. That was the plan was to sell the first bottles through a small network of, I don't know how to say that in English. People
Pharmacist.
that are not pharmacists, because we can't sell through them, but it's like nutritionists. uh it's like people that are in the health industry but are not doctors.
Yeah.
So it's like para pharmaceutical or whatever, but they're all closed now, so that's kind of a bummer. So instead, we're working on doing influencer marketing with my sister, because that's her business as well.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Oh, cool.
that's where we are. Unfortunately, a lot of like the barrier of entry is kind of high because there's a lot of legislation around it. For example, it's like you need to do procedures to declare your dietary supplements. And since CBD is a novel food, it's kind of tough to get it approved. And of course, like Facebook, Google, you cannot advertise through those platforms because it's kind of like it's derived from marijuana. So for them, like it's not in their term of use. So it's harder than expected, but I think it's gonna be big anyway.
Okay, cool. Great. Well, if there are viewers that have questions to ask to Paul, please put them in the comments. We can then see them, and then we will also put them to Paul. Um, Paul, the facilities currently we've moved online as a school.
Yes,
Uh,
yes.
Seamless, I think. How are you
Hmm.
experiencing the online facilitation?
I like it. I think it was seamless, and it's the only thing we can do. I do think though that you can get more value out of the experts in person, because then you can ask more questions, or I don't know. Just I think easier to connect with those people, and I think those connections are really valuable. I mean, I met some great people like Thierry, for example. We're working on a potential deal in the future, and I think if we would have been in an online course with Thierry, maybe it would have been more difficult to create those connections. But otherwise, it's really nice. Like everyone just jump on a Zoom meeting at, I don't know, let's say 2, and then we have class. So yeah, I think it's great. It's not as good as in person, but I think it's great.
Yeah. What do you think we can still improve in person? Because we do more than just put the classes on Zoom, right? There's the meditation with
Mm-hmm.
Milan and Marco in the morning. We
Mm-hmm.
have smaller sessions also with the business coaching.
Mm-hmm.
What else do you think we should do to also put and fulfill that part of the need?
Mm. Honestly, I don't really know. I just think it's when you're not on site, it's more difficult to be 100% in the thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand.
I think in that regard, you cannot do that much. And we have the Friday drinks online to make sure everyone still's connected. So I think on that regard, you guys are doing pretty well. I'm not honestly, I'm not jumping on all the yoga sessions and business coaching, because when you live at home with your parents, you have other things to do. You need to cook, you need to do a lot of things that usually you don't have to do when you're just in school. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's more of my bad than you guys.
Okay. Let's see if there are any questions from the viewers in the comments. Please post your questions in the comments so that we can ask Paul some additional questions. Paul, the advice you would want to give prospect students. There's a tryout
Mm-hmm.
day on April 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
What would you advise students thinking of becoming an entrepreneur? What would you advise them at the moment?
Mm, that's a good question. I
Because we offer the opportunity to start online, and then when
mm-hmm.
whole Corona thing is over, then join
Mm-hmm.
us physically in Amsterdam. So, of course, we're still further building the skill on the
Mm-hmm.
online. I think we are pretty far ahead in the game, but still further improving smaller
Mm-hmm.
groups. And so that you have like the session you had with leadership online with Milan, that one went really into depth within
Mm-hmm.
a small group. I think we want to do more of those.
Yep.
But that's something that people can already experience and start with in September. So the
Mm-hmm.
enrollment for coming September, I think, is going to be interesting because we are offering our program virtually, and then when Corona is over, then they can
Mm-hmm.
come to Amsterdam. But that's for students who really want to start their own business and from the comfort of their own home, and then
Mm-hmm.
later join us in Amsterdam. But what would you advise at the moment students, because there are quite some students looking to study abroad, also how to become an entrepreneur? What would you advise them?
Honestly, you have nothing to lose. So if you can, try it. If you really want to start a business, I think it's one of the best solution out there right now. And there is other things maybe in the US or in France, none of that I know of. In your respective country, maybe. In the US, maybe, but I mean, I live there. I don't want to live there anymore. It's not my thing. So come and try it. If you really want to do it, you're gonna get results. And if you're willing to just put in the work, you're gonna get a lot of results. I think more results than you would expect. And also the ecosystem, like the other students, we are all kind of driven in the same way. I mean, in regular school, some people, they just want their normal 9 to 5 job and have an easy life. I don't think that's what of the students aspire to or strive for here. I mean, in global school, so that the ecosystem, and I think that's. I mean, you are the average of the 5 people you hang out the most with, and I think that's really true. When I look at my friends, the difference in my friends between the US, Paris, or Amsterdam, it's big, and the way I live my day-to-day life in each of those places because of the people I'm surrounded with is insane. So I think
So the people that you hang around with help
yeah,
you
the
turn into
community.
what you want to become? Is that what
Yeah.
you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. Well, thanks, Paul, for joining me in this live stream.
You're welcome.
We are about to close, unless people still have a last question to ask for Paul.
Oh, we have a
I
question from
see
Leonard.
a question coming in.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Please
It's from
proceed.
Leonard. What's Paul think of the business coaching? What could be different?
Mm, mm, honestly, I haven't. I think I went to 3 or 4 business coaching. So not every week, just whenever I really need it or I have something on my mind, I need a external output on. It's always been really helpful. I think it depends also on the kind of coach you have. Some of them are more specialized in, I don't know, value creation or customer persona, things like that. When I need negotiations things, I ask you, Thomas. So I'm my own negotiator. Uh, I don't know, maybe. Honestly, I haven't talked to all the business coaches, so I'm not sure if I'm right, but I would say more diversity in the scope of, like, we don't have a lot of digital marketers, for example, I think, in the business coaching. Do
Yeah.
we?
Now, the availability of
Mm-hmm.
people that do digital marketing is, of course, there. But
Mm-hmm.
the business coaches I match with the need of the students, so it's tailored.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
currently, most of the students are looking for customer segments and building
Yeah.
value propositions.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, we have the business coaches that are now that they can book through Calendly and then have talks with, are the business coaches that are in that stage. If there's
Yeah.
an additional need, as no other, that
Mm-hmm.
we have different business coaches in our ecosystem that can
Yeah.
help you out. Like Diederik can help out with digital marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Atken will help out with branding. So there's a lot of people in our network that can help you out with the specific topics.
Yeah. But I think that's one of the pitfalls of entrepreneurs. They sometimes have a hard time asking help. And that was one of my pitfalls in the beginning, mainly. So
Yeah.
sometimes I just look for a solution online and I don't ask. So maybe just asking more what people need would be a small improvement that would make I think, positive improvement.
Okay. Thanks. Now I'm interested to see also about the viewers if they too
Mm-hmm.
want to become an entrepreneur. Can you type in the comments if you are looking to become an entrepreneur too, or if you maybe already are? Can you type in the comments if you already are, or if you're looking to become an entrepreneur? So let's see if we have viewers that want to become an entrepreneur, Paul.
Let's see. Come on, guys. Attends pas. de 5 minutes. Sorry.
Invite
It's
them in, Paul,
the
to be live on Facebook.
yeah,
And
it's the
YouTube
family
for that
office.
matter. But there's no one responding at the moment, Paul. So I guess it's a challenging question
Okay.
because of the doubts of the current Corona situation. Maybe let's see. But people who are interested, they can come to our tryout day on April 2nd. Please
Yes.
go to the Global School for Entrepreneurship.com website and see there's a link to the tryout day, and then enroll there, and then you'll have 3 interesting workshops. There's possibilities in the morning as well as in the afternoon and evening. So time zones, we have a lot of international students, so we're also considering the time zones. So go to globalschoolforentrepreneurship.com and then enroll for the open day, the tryout day. So thanks, Paul, again for
You're
joining
welcome.
me at this live stream. Thanks for sharing your story and your experiences at Global School. Keep up the
My
good work
pleasure.
with Bloom. Let me
Yes.
share your the name of your URL
Business.
again. So
Yeah.
the bloomcbd.com. Thanks,
Hmm.
Paul, and good luck.
You're
And
welcome.
talk soon. Ciao, ciao.
Thanks, Thomas. Ciao.